Good afternoon and welcome to this NPL New South Wales men's clash between Wollongong Wolves and Manly United. We are here at Albert Butler Memorial Park for the first game of this season. Of course, the first game for both sides will be Lachlan Scott, the former Western Sydney Wanderer, to get us away. What a wonderful late addition he has been, and surely will prove to be throughout the season. It is Lachlan Scott trying to get it early, falls down. A moment of promise there for the Wolves. And as I think you'll find throughout this game, both managers promising their teams will be attacking. Very privileged to have had a good chat with both of them. Both managers wanting to have an attacking philosophy. The Wolves looking to line up with a quite conventional 4-4-2. But manager Luke Wilkshire, of course, Sydney FC, Socceroo, World Cup participant, now at the helm of Wollongong Wolves, saying you can expect them to be quite dangerous in transition. As for Manly United, 4-2-3-1 for them. Quite a few changes from last season, but one thing that they do stick to is bringing back those former players. Very big fans of their youth system. It's what they believe in, one of their core principles at the club. Raise up these younger players. And if they do have success elsewhere, that is fantastic, but definitely the opportunity to bring them back, they'll take that with both hands. And it is, of course, Manly with the attacking opportunity here. The ball swung in low, finding the man at the front post, but to no avail. You'll see this quite a lot from both teams, you'd think. Playing it out from the back, from the goal kick. More than happy to sit on it early as they look to build up their play. That ball down the left-hand side fails to find the target. Heavy challenge coming in there. Glover it is going to ground, and he is one to watch this season for Manly United. The youngster coming up through the club. You're not going to miss him with that hair either. Been given that number 9 role today. Very important job for him to do. The coach, Paul D, saying it's going to be a breakthrough season for Jamie potentially. I'm not sure if he's got a lot of height for this set piece. It is swung in. But safely in the hands of the keeper. And once again, the Wolves looking to break straight away. That, of course, the number 11, Okada. A brilliant attacking midfielder, happy to take his time on the ball, look up to set Wollongong Wolves on their way. There's Lachlan Scott again, happy to take on another former A-League player, of course. Adam Parkhouse, back at Manly United. Will be Wollongong with this throw on the left-hand side. Guess who it is to repel it? It's a little bit of a soft free kick there. The Wolves won't mind that at all. Okada over the ball. How many free kicks will we see him take this season? Obviously too far, you would think, to go directly for goal. We'll be looking to swing this one in. The in-swinging delivery may have been a Wollongong head. They certainly were confident that it came off the defender. And Okada now races over to take the corner. Has been quite a warm day today down in Wollongong. Bit more windy now, as you may be able to hear the ball across the face of goal from Okada. The Wolves not able to get on the end of it, but a wonderful early chance. Manly looking for that long ball up the line. We said both teams looking to play out from the back. Not the case there. Wonder if the pressure of the early minutes of this clash. Obviously, it's been a big pre-season for both clubs. Manly particularly talking about how they've been religiously sticking to their strength and conditioning program. Really looking to take the sports science tests to the next level, particularly here at the NPL stage. But how will both these teams settle? Easy to do it in pre-season, easy to do it in training. How will you do it? The first game of the season. It's Balderson looking to play it down the wing. Once again, Balderson with a quick throw, looking for Glover. Wollongong players deal with it well. Gallagher up to Jamie Glover. Welcome to the NPL. He was offside there, but can be expecting a lot of physical treatment today and throughout the season. As the Wolves looking to play out from the back, and they will do so again. Toshi with the ball down the line, looking for Okada. Can he keep it in? Not quite. A few players from both sides already taking on some water. It is, as I mentioned, quite hot out here today. A bit more mild than it was earlier. Gallagher on the ball. Thought he was going to play it out to the right back. Goes back the other way. The ball down the line will be too powerful. Not that Parkhouse minds, mind you. Gives the thumbs up. He doesn't mind running onto those through balls. We've seen him do it for Wellington Phoenix. Now back at Manly United. Okada sort of gaining some unwanted attention early. He is brilliant to watch on the ball. You can already tell. Nice close dribbling, and the opposition Manly players letting him know they're not happy with it. That will be a free kick just outside the box on this right-hand side, not a penalty. Will it be that man again? Okada to step over it. The number 11. For the Wolves, what can he do here? It's not a particularly helpful angle, really, for him to go direct on goal. Will he find one of the tall timber for Wollongong Wolves? Swings it in now. Lachlan Scott it was with the leap. Not quite sure if he got some contact on it. If he did, it wasn't enough to force Dylan Mitchell into a save. As you see, Manly now playing it out from the back, maybe just needed those early minutes to settle into the game. Playing it across to Balderson on this right-hand side. A lovely touch to take it inside. That will be the foul. Home support not happy with that decision. Kieran Paul down this right-hand side. Described by his manager as one of the best fullbacks in the league. He'll head back to keep some close attention on Lachlan Scott, but it is Manly now. Set pieces, the best opportunities for both sides. Not a lot from open play, but you might expect that at the start of the season. Will be the left foot delivery, swung in and swung high up into the hill. Michio going back to his mark there at left back. Was really an ideal situation for his free kick abilities. Unfortunately faces the lonely jog back to that left back position. Short ball not on here for the Wolves, but it will go kindly to Okada. High ball up in the air. And now it's Jamie Glover not afraid to put in a bit of a challenge early. We said he was going to get some attention. It looks like he's doesn't mind dishing it out himself. There's Guy Knight here on this near touchline. Draws the heavy contact. He plays it down the line to that man. Okada, I feel like I'll be saying that name many times throughout this season, hopefully in a positive sense. I think it's fair to say the Wolves have settled a little bit better. Good to see. Good crowd here at Albert Butler. Of course, the Wolves will be back to Wynn Stadium at some point. It certainly is a lovely ground out here. Good crowd in. And why wouldn't you? Such a wonderful variety of players here, particularly with these two sides, attacking players. Luke Wiltshire really getting into his first proper stint, I think it's fair to say, as a coach, as a manager. Saw him in the drills and the warm-ups really giving it to his players, wanting 100%. The offside flag is raised. It looked like an extremely tight call. Lachlan Scott certainly in good positions early. That time potentially making his run a little too quickly. Always interesting to see the two different styles of the managers on the touchline. You have the Manly gaffer, more than happy just to take a seat. He's done it all before. Luke Wiltshire, though, standing right in front of us here. Extremely interested in the action. Keeping a very close eye on his players. Not offering a lot in the way of instruction. He is just so well loved down here. Sure, the locals would love to see him have success. Formerly as a player, now as a manager. Sure, you heard the big roar. Second ball. Glover now. Laying it off to Shalakian, playing it out. The ball coming in, well defended by Jordovic. The big shot from Dom Ferguson had a lot of power behind it, well blocked, and now could we see the Wolves on the attack? Hands all over. Outtread there. And the Wolves faithful not happy with that decision with a Manly United throw. No goals early on in this game, but no shortage of action. Both sides testing their opponents with set pieces. Will look to create a little more structured attacking play. Referee very clearly stating for all to hear, he won't be taking any back chat. The ball left there by Balderson. Right idea by Scott Balderson. Unfortunately, Kieran Paul not reading his intentions. There will be Wollongong Wolves on this left-hand side. Lachlan Scott, the first-time ball. I'm quite sure if he had to look up. If it was his intention, he needed a little bit more power on that, and will work out just fine for Wollongong Wolves. Brilliant feat from Okada. What can he do? He does have a man wide. Unfortunately, it would have to be the first pass he's missed today. And at an absolutely crucial moment, if he could have freed that man on his right-hand side, the Wolves were looking extremely dangerous. Comes back deeper to receive it now. The Wolves will take their time on the ball all the way back to Justin Passfield. Passfield, of course, with that experience in the A-League at the Central Coast Mariners. Had a few good seasons here now at Wollongong. First time ball. Can see the intentions there from the Wolves players, but the Manly United defence sticking to its task. Kieran Paul getting back there to defend. Bit of a chuckle there. Jamie Glover comes to receive the throw-in. Wolves manager Luke Wilkshire just tossing it back down the line. Some habits never die. Glover with a heavy chest. Does go in a little bit hard there. We did mention he received some treatment early on. The referee probably doing the right thing here and saying, let's just get underway, gentlemen. Let's not worry about those little flashpoints. Got a game to play. Ball finding itself at the feet of Balderson, but a heavy touch there from Dom Ferguson. What can the Wolves do? Fantastic challenge by Sam Gallagher. Heavy touch from, I believe, Lachlan Scott, but Gallagher doing what he is paid to do. The Wolves down this right-hand side, a lovely dribble in. He's against the keeper. It goes just past the face of goal. A lovely attacking move there. The Wolves fans certainly thought they were looking at their first goal of the season, and it was goals that were a problem for the Wolves last season. Both these sides really disappointing campaigns, and goals largely the problem for the Wolves. Reading some interviews, there was talk about it setting a goals target of 50 goals, and they really struggled to get to even half that. And that's why you see some of the changes in recruitment. Lachlan Scott, such a late addition to his squad, falling out of favour evidently with Marcus Babbel. But what a club to be able to move back to. The Wolves and Passfield more than happy to play it out from the back. Going down this far touchline, not a lot of pressure from Manly United. You see them trying to organise themselves. The Wolves potentially looking to switch it down this left-hand side. The ball does not have anywhere near enough power as required. And Balderson now. And Manly, what can he do? To be fair to the Wolves, really hustling back in defence. And goodness me, Okada. He was already up in behind those two strikers in that attacking mid position. Races back to receive it. He's the first one in the box as well now. That challenge for everyone's ability to understand. Coming in from Sam Gallagher. Overzealous. A few chanting for a penalty. It's not going to happen. But it will be a dangerous opportunity here for Wollongong just outside the box. Will it be the right-footed delivery of Okada? Could potentially Wollongong go direct in on goal. Bit of wrestling in the box. Nothing we haven't seen before. The referee, however, wanting to have words early, pointing out, I'm watching. Potentially a training ground routine here. The strike on the edge of the area goes just wide. No doubt the Wolves have been practicing that one. Luke Wilkshire bringing something back from Russia, potentially. Something with Arnie at Sydney FC. It was Stojevski, rather, on the end of that move. Probably the smallest man on the pitch. But he hit that extremely well. Very clean contact. Going to hear that second ball cry quite a lot. Kieran Paul on this right-hand side. Balderson has 2 to beat. Feature of Wolves' play so far has certainly been their aggression in defence. More than happy to double up, if it makes sense. Manly United back out to this man that's seen so much ball, Balderson, right-hand side. Playing it inside, the number 6, Joe Fox. Back to Paul. Manly finally got their opportunity with a little bit of possession. The referee happy to let this go. The one-touch football looked like a good idea until Shojevski again playing it down the line to Callahan. Callahan well found by Alchad. Not getting past me just yet, but it will be. And a corner now for Wollongong Wolves. Once again, whenever Manly get on the ball, if they're able to string 2 or 3 passes together, they're immediately met by 3 or 4 Wollongong defenders, like I mentioned earlier. Defending in numbers 2-on-1 in defence whenever the opportunity presents itself. And then quite quick in transition. You would have to say it is Wollongong looking the better of these two sides early in this clash. The ball swung in, eluding everyone, really. One player leaping for it, Dylan Mitchell, with a half attempt, but realising really no one was coming. Can Manly finally start to settle on the ball? You can quite clearly see this 4-2-3-1 shape they're going for. That front four, very fluid. At the moment, trying to catch their fullbacks. A bit of a high line. Goes down to this left-hand side in Parkhouse. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball for Manly. It's mostly been on that right-hand side. The number 6, Joe Fox, playing it wide to Balderson. Balderson back in on his left foot. He'll swing this one in. Parkhouse. Shot well blocked. Will he get another opportunity here? On his right peg now. Does not at all collect cleanly. Passfield saying thank you very much as he'll look for this short throw, surely. And there it is. There's a much more cliche 4-4-2 shape here, particularly when they're playing the ball out from the back. You can see Okada, who I'd mentioned, playing an attacking mid role, but when they are playing out from the back, he really does drift out to this left mid position. It's only when they go further forward he'll drift further inbounds. Obviously given that license from his manager to play a bit more of a roaming role. And that's why Manly are trying to attack that right-hand side. They can see space initially, but then he is always the first player back to defend. Wollongong, we mentioned set pieces, the order of the day so far. They will have another opportunity here. As the sun appears again from behind the clouds. Dylan Mitchell. That cap certainly hasn't left his head at any spot. He's been ready for this moment. Okada will swing this in. There's a man there. It's Lachlan Scott again. You can almost call it before it even happens. He's always in the right position. His header going just over the top. Manager Wiltshire saying, next one, Lockie. Go again, go again. Manly straight down the middle of the pitch. Might have thought they wanted to hold on to a bit of possession, but oh my goodness, Okada, just brilliant play. The run from Lachlan Scott avoided. So they go to Thomas James. Thomas James, not a man we've talked about a lot yet, but a name you're going to hear many times this season. Always a fan of a player with 2 first names as well, I tell you that. They make for the best footballers. James playing his trade in the capital football. Excellent goal scorer, scoring more goals than he even played games last season. We have seen that move from players in our nation's capital through to the South Coast. Will it pay dividends again for the Wolves this season? Stojevski on the ball. Can he play it back out to the left to his number 11? Lovely little ball. Technical ability is superb. Number 9 there, Thomas James, the man we just mentioned. More of a goal scorer than a assister, I think it's fair to say. Doing the right thing there, trying to play his teammate in. Already signs of promise for Scott and for James. But they have failed to make it count just yet. Manly United, another long ball out. Well dealt with. No advantage there for the Wolves. It's been a treat to watch so far. Thomas James offered the water, says, "That's not the beverage I'm looking for," throws it immediately back. Goes for what we will assume is the Powerade. No doubt, already feeling nice at home here on the South Coast. Not afraid to tell his backroom staff what he wants. Stojovski linking up again well with Okada, playing it down the line now. Heavy first touch from Guy Knight. James running onto it. Again, it is Wolves with all the dangerous territory. Manly really being reduced to the long ball at this point. It's Balderson who's down early. Taking a little bit of a knock to his ankle potentially. Manager coming out to see what all the trouble is and potentially use this break in play to give his troops some instructions. One would think he's not overly joyed with what he's seen so far. Resolute in defence, Manly United, but not holding on to the ball anywhere near as often as they would like. Luke Wilkshire, though, certainly seems the more relaxed of the two managers, saying, organise yourselves, get into position. But it's Manly United winning everything in the air, you have to say. Balderson's back up and running, which is great to see. A lovely little feat there. Stojevski. But to Wollongong have the ball on the end. It's in to Harry Callahan. But ultimately, it is the Wolves knocking on the door. Unable to find a way in just yet. The signs have all been there. The home fans, all attentive. You look around, all the sets of eyes engrossed on this play. They can feel a goal coming. This corner played short. Okada plays it across the face. It's almost that same training ground move we saw from earlier. Once again, that finish, not finding the mark, that time blocked by the Manly United defender. Manly now with a little bit of time on the ball. When we see some passing for them through their midfield. Really been reduced to those long balls. Parkhouse working tirelessly, but not really had a lot of opportunities just yet. There's quite a high defensive line from Wollongong, keeping Manly pegged back in their own half. And as soon as this ball crosses the halfway point, they are on them in a flash, meaning they do have to go over the top. Kieran Paul. He's got a lot of pace, a lot of agility. Unfortunately, unable to keep that in play. And another Wollongong goal kick. Wollongong looking to get us back underway. The players, of course, more than happy to take their time with that goal kick. As soon as that sun comes out from behind the clouds, it does get dramatically hotter. Jordovic more than happy to play it back to his goalkeeper. As much as I'm sure they want to set the tempo, they are under no pressure really, Wollongong, in their own defensive third, or dare I say defensive half. Manly sitting the deeper of the two. Jamie Glover from United, looked like we were going to see a lot of him early, has really gone out of the game as Wollongong have looked to retain as much possession as possible, you have to say. Only going forward when they really need to. That ball down the line, a bit more urgent from the home side. James unable to control it. The first time ball is lovely to Parkhouse. He comes inboard here to his fullback. He'll look to play it across the face. And that is the story really of the first half between these two sides. Wollongong dominating possession, creating some good half chances, even some clear ones. Manly reduced to playing really on the counter-attack, looking for those long balls. Under a lot of pressure from the Wollongong defence, playing it wide, playing it out of play. Jamie Glover now looking to put a marker down, can't get there in time. Does force some urgency from the home side. It is James on the ball. Well defended by Sam Gallagher. Credit to the Manly United defence, it's held firm so far. Lachlan Scott really with the best opportunities for the home side. But nothing along the ground particularly that you'd describe as a clear-cut chance. The throw coming in now, it is a long throw. Dealt well by Outred, plays it down the line now. Once again, met with some very firm Wollongong challenges. Balderson on that right-hand side, doing so much work, not getting a lot of joy. Excellent tackle there by Paul. As the ball rebounds off James, Manly United will get the throw. Ball down the line to Adam Parkhouse. Will be able to keep that one in play. Claiming the throne, and Manly United will receive it. A moment for the opposition to hold the ball now. Must be extremely tired already in this first half with the amount of defensive work they've been doing. That ball is swung in blindly. Easy to collect for the keeper. Carter now immediately looking for Lachlan Scott. Don't think he's going to have the pace to go past Paul. You see Balderson now as well helping out. He does win a throw-in for his side. Immediately taken by the Wolves. Okada. Into James. It's not James, my apologies. He is out on that right-hand side. It's lovely little passing. Okada back across the face. And there it is for the home side. As mentioned, some half-decent opportunities. None as good as that. And although he's not the goal scorer, it is Okada that the players rush to with that lovely 1-2 passing. And that will be 1-0 to the Wollongong Wolves. A deserved lead, you have to say, in this first half. Been working tirelessly, finally found those combinations. This time, the difference being there was a finish on the end of it. Manly. Is that the jolt they need to keep a little bit more possession, to get back into this game? Late challenge coming in from Guy Knight. Stalling momentum, maybe not the worst thing for the Wolves right now. Again, Manly looking, as it so often is, a lot more lively after conceding that goal. Already with more passes in this move than they've had at any other point in that first half. Can they respond on the score sheet? Carter was strangely urgent with that play. Had a lot more time than he perhaps realised. And Wollongong now, of course, not going to be happy with just a 1-0 lead. Well, they can perhaps be a bit more patient than they have been. No doubt their manager will want them to be setting the tempo for the entire 90 minutes. Michio happy to play it back. Pressure being applied. Mitchell racing out well to make sure that he got foot to that ball. And it's that man, Jamie Glover, once again, more than happy to leave a foot in on the odd occasion. Toshi just checking with the referee, inquiring as to what some things are being given for. And unfortunately, this will draw some laughs from the home support, which you can understand. But it really did collect Dom Ferguson extremely heavily. And it will give the players here a well-earned opportunity for a quick drinks break. Very interesting once again to see the different styles of these managers. Paul D more than happy just to mostly sit, pondering, reviewing his team's performance so far. He now has the opportunity to have that little one-on-one chat with his fullback. Has been this left-hand side of Wollongong that's been most dangerous. Going to need to be addressed here. Balderson playing in that right midfield position, also getting a lot of individual instructions. Meanwhile, almost all of the Wollongong Wolves players racing over for a drink, but also to get some words from Luke Wilkshire, who looked delighted with the early performance. He was very early on in this season, in this game. He has a big smile on his face. Why wouldn't he be? 1-0 in this match, in charge of his beloved Wolves. Very bold choice, going for that white shirt too. We'll see how he's faring by the end of this game. It's two of us that's made this mistake. So the play will look to get underway. It'll be interesting to see what the referee decides to do, of course. Was a bit of damage done to themselves by Manly. And the ball will go back to Wollongong. Can you really blame them? The Wolves looking to go down that left-hand side. Those instructions given by the Manly manager. See some tighter marking. They go down the right. The combination's not working anywhere near as well. Was one moment for the Wolves where Thomas James drifted wide out there. Looked extremely promising, but all they could get was a free kick. Wolves fans are not happy with that decision of a throw-in. They are very passionate football fans down here on the South Coast. Lovely little flick around the corner by Scott. Can see James racing into the middle. The ball is too heavy. It will go over the top of him. You hear Luke saying, James, go, chase it down. It's not done just yet. Paul racing down this right-hand side. Looking for Balderson. The ball is heavy and it will race away. Yeah, another good opportunity just earlier for the Wolves. Across. Ultimately a little bit too heavy. You do wonder, as this game progresses, particularly in that second half, the first game of the season, will it sap the energy of these players, of this Manly United players who are struggling to hold possession in this game? We're going to see an early substitution. Lobb will make his way onto the field. And of course, receiving that captain's armband as well. Moving into the heart of defence. Can he inspire his team, get his team back into this game? The margin, of course, only 1-0, and yet it does feel like it's all Wollongong, at least so far. Okada, as we mentioned, strictly playing left midfield. He's just roaming wherever he would like. The number 16 here, Guy Knight, making an excellent run, unable to keep that in. Dylan Mitchell looking to compose himself before taking this kick. Ball out to this right-hand side. Referee looked like he was happy to let that go. The call is a little late. The contact from Guy Knight, a little heavy. Kieran Paul looking back here, not looking to play it forward whatsoever. The pass back is just not on. Just try and drift it into Glover, but really not good enough for Manly United early on here. That is an attacking opportunity. No real movement from the Manly players. Looking to pass it back, that wasn't on either. The ball, nothing that Jamie Glover could do with that. Perhaps half-time could be beneficial for Manly. A good turnover for them there though. Balderson. Carter again just racing back to make the challenge. How many lungs does this man have? He is everywhere. Substitute, Jamie Lobb. Looking to link up with some passes, but it is a turnover here. The Wolves. James is going to take the shot on himself. So whistles past that far post. Always looked like he was going to take the shot, did have those runners. What they did was draw away defenders, giving him that space to shoot. Is there a second goal here for Wollongong? Or will they be left to rue these missed chances? Second ball cry goes up again. Clear message from Paul D. So the ball makes it all the way back to Passfield. Must have had the best experience of anyone in this first half, really. Being called to do very little. Able to complete practically all of his passes because there's no pressure in that front third at all from Manly. Clear game plan here from Manly United. Sit back, wait until it is in their defensive half to make a challenge on the ball. And it does work to their credit well this time. In transition, what have they got? Left-hand side for Manly. The ball will be floated in. The back post. And it is a little bit too deep for Balderson, who has worked tirelessly down this right-hand touchline. Was a full-hearted effort, but could not make it to the ball. Bit of confusion here as to where that goal kick should be taken. Not quite sure if the touch was within inside the box. It matters not. A lovely little flick there. Guy Knight eventually goes down the line to Okada. Full-blooded challenge from Kieran Paul, but it's perfection. Wins the ball. Manly not happy with this earlier call on this left-hand side, but they will have to put it out of their minds, play the whistle. Perhaps symptomatic of their frustrations generally in this game. Guy Knight looking to take the throw. Will he find Okada down the line or look further infield? Is indeed that man Okada his target? Unable to find him. Cleared well by Paul. Jamie Glover's not had a lot to work with. Wilkshire, in contrast to his earlier effort, more than happy to throw that ball to his player. A joyful note to end that first half on, and it is all joy here for the Wolves. At the end of first half, it is Wollongong Wolves 1, Manly United 0. Welcome back for the second half of this National Premier League's New South Wales men's encounter. Lovely day to get the season underway. And a real treat of football. Of course, there'll be matches all throughout the afternoon and evening. But for now, it is Wollongong and Manly United. Wollongong up 1-0. It was a lovely goal too. One to watch back already. Manly on the ball early. Jamie Lobb, the forced substitution, had a bit of a niggle pre-kickoff apparently. Forced to make his way on. Getting that captain's armband. The question in the second half really is, can Manly match Wollongong's level of intensity? Ball down the line here. Michio not happy with giving away that foul, but it did look like it was a fair decision. Wollongong will take all the time in the world. They won't be satisfied. Their manager won't be satisfied with that 1-0 scoreline. But it is the Wolves in complete control. Ball down the line. It's a heavy chest. Michio really wanting that ball more. James, the goal scorer on this left-hand side. Will he be going himself? He looks for this little 1-2 with Lachlan Scott. The left-footed finish. Not quite what was required. Rolls just wide. Luke Wilkshire, the Wolves manager, questioning why James hit that with his left, really. Looked like a right-footed finish, a little curler. Decided to go with the left foot shot. It does go wide, and we have had a very firm challenge here in midfield. Referee quite wisely not issuing a card there, just informing the players. I am watching. No more of those. As we try and get this football back underway. It's a lovely little move. Michio has been doing well on the ball early, and it's Manly with some good attacking play. The shot comes in safely into Passfield's arms. So immediately they look to go down the other end. Scott trying his best to keep it in, but to no avail. Another firm challenge there. Jordovic a little bit ambitious. And again, already early in the second half. Both teams out to play, but overly aggressive. We saw this again in the first half. Manly United getting the free kick. Not at all looking comfortable. Scott running in late wasn't really a challenge, more just the contact of having run into the player. Quite feisty early on here. The Wolves breaking well. We'll go out to this left-hand side. Okada has his delivery. It's perfect. It finds Thomas James. Hitting it with that right foot this time, but going well wide. Really is, once again, not to try and hop on about it too much, the brilliance of Okada. Technically playing in a left midfield role, more or less being given permission by the manager to drift wherever he would like. That delivery was perfection. James, or TJ, as I've been reliably informed, he likes to be called, unable to find the finish. Manly United down this left-hand side. Ball did not look particularly dangerous. Chalakian looking to put in the challenge. Doesn't really have much support. And a rare rushed clearance from the Wolves. Probably the first moment of pressure they've been under in some time. No doubt the Manly gaffer will be happier to see this from his team. Runs forward here. Balderson going himself and lunging in unnecessarily. Did appear to get a little bit of the ball, but you cannot be leaping in off your feet like that. The referee, first and foremost, going over, check on the well-being of the player. Balderson would do well here not to walk away from the referee. It will just be the yellow card. A few here thinking it could have been even worse. Passfield seems to be asking that very question. Chalakian looking to rally his teammates. How will they handle this long ball? Goes down the line. It's not aimed particularly well. Dylan Mitchell will have the chance to start off this attack. So we look at the setup of the centre-backs, splitting wide. The right centre-back in acres of space, and it is that man that he goes to right now. Lob with plenty of time on the ball. Looks to spray a ball wide to Parkhouse, who we just have not seen an awful lot of. Manly forced to go all the way back. All the way back. Michio looked like that ball ran out of play, not given. Jamie Glover running onto that one, getting there ahead of the defender, but unfortunately for him and his side, he is offside. Crowd seems to have settled a little bit from that first half. As I mentioned, the anticipation was in the air of almost every move, expecting something to happen. A little bit more subdued here in this second half. Manly showing a little bit more fight. A lot of time on the ball. What will he do with it? Looking for Michio. Balderson intercepts. The call it is a correct one. Eventually, the teammates linking up is actually worked out quite well. Shot of handball, a little ambitious. No time really for that defender to react. Looked like a heavy challenge. The crowd won't like it. But Chalakian drawing that contact, inviting that contact. And it could be that man with an opportunity with the shot on goal. So on this left-hand side of the field, really perfect position for him. If you could ask Chalakian, where would you like a free kick from today? Maybe a little further forward, but apart from that, this would be the spot. Balderson trying to put it off the keeper. Back in the wall now. Chalakian only has guys for goal. Comfortably. Down the throat of Passfield. The early release. Searching for Shudjet. My apologies. I thought there was going to be a foul given. Tempted to retract my statement, but the referee putting that whistle back in his mouth. Was, of course, Sojewski winning that ball initially. Ref looking to signal a foul, eventually saying play on. Not that time, however. Wollongong players and crowd saying it's Jamie Glover again. That's the fourth time he's committed a foul. What are you going to do about it, referee? Referee still wanting to let this game flow where possible. Goes down this right-hand side. Trying to find McDonald. He does brilliantly to keep it in. Not just that, now we'll get a chance to cross it in. The ball to the back stick. No players there initially. Callahan plays it out to Okada. Looking for that 1-2 perhaps. James. This is lovely little passing from Wollongong. Okada plays it across the face. Well defended from Lob. The ball flies back out to the on-rushing attacker. We might not be getting that one back anytime soon. He's played nice and early from Manly United. Headed on from Balderson. Now Jamie looking to rush onto it. All it will be a throw-in. Michio to take it on this left-hand side. Gallagher playing in a bit more of an advanced position in the second half. More of a defensive midfield role. With that forced substitution that we had mentioned. Thought those attackers may have been offside. Linesman certainly wasn't flagging it early. Dylan Mitchell clears it to that far touchline. What can the Wolves do here in attack? Lachlan Scott gets the shot on goal, and it's a brilliant save there from Dylan Mitchell. The applause you're hearing, of course, not for that save, which got the job done. They are loving this attacking football from the home side. It's the little link-up play, the 1-2 passing. Might just be the first game of the season, but these players already seem to know where those runs are going to be. Okada to swing this one in on his right foot. It's a good delivery. Someone on the end of it. Will be a foul. A few in the crowd not happy with that decision, but really going through the back of his player in the end. Guy Knight doing the job expected of him. Racing back to his defensive position. Gallagher playing this wide to Michio, but it's too wide. Not many on this pitch able to catch up to that ball. Michio potentially one of them. Not to be. The ball down the line, quite aimless really. Lachlan Scott on the end of it. Lob doing exactly that, but only as far as the Wollongong defender. Okada now has that ball on a string at times. What a rough day it is for Kieran Paul. Imagine having to mark that man for a 90-minute period. Has held his own on most of the occasions, does well there. Dylan Mitchell, the Manly United keeper, wanting his defenders to push up a bit higher. Not sure if that's in the game plan. Turn over here. James on the ball. Can play it out wide to McDonald. Does so. McDonald has the ball in. Not quite good enough. Lob puts his foot through it, but only as far as Toshi. However, we'll come back to that earlier incident. Luke Wiltshire with a very loud TJ to Thomas James, confirming that earlier nickname. Thank you, Sauce. You're on the money. Was James with that lovely finish at the end of that attacking move in the first half. The only goal that separates these sides. Can Manly get on level peggings? The ball into Parkhouse. He's not going to be able to keep that in. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for Manly, as they ready up a second substitution. Had been a few niggles for this Manly United side, a few carried them into the game, a few on the bench as they look to build into the season. It's Callaghan on the ball, playing it into the feet of the front man. He is being grabbed all over. No complaints there from Lobb. Lachlan Scott holding his position. How beneficial will Lachlan Scott be for the Wolves this season? Of course, not just A-League experience, Asian Champions League experience. They would be delighted to have a man of that caliber back at the club. It is Tedeschi, the front man, looking to come on for Manly. He's going to have to wait just a moment. It is a Wolves attacking set piece. I've had a few of these today. Very ambitious, I think, is how we define that little opportunity from TJ. No doubt wanting to get a second goal. He's going to have to wait as we see that substitution. As perhaps it would be expected, it's Jamie Glover coming off. He has run himself ragged. His face as red as his hair. Could not have done any more for his side today. Will be replaced by Tedeschi, a like-for-like sub. That won't be the last we see of Jamie Glover this season. Once again, I believe it's the same incident as before. A goal kick not leaving the box. All that does, under the current laws, of course, is force a retake. So if you're under pressure, why not just take that touch in the box and get your second opportunity? But that's much of a muchness for now. Both players leaping for the ball. Wolves happy to play it all the way back to Passfield. Passfield with plenty of time. No excuse not to find a man. Does just that and finding McDonald. Callaghan is taken out viciously, you have to say. Manly United players looking at each other. Well, they're saying we were forced into doing that. Not quite sure who's marking who's tracking which runs. And of all the set-piece opportunities today, this is the best. You will not get a better position in which to hit a free kick. Definitely not a penalty, but almost as close as you can get without it being so. It is Thomas James standing over it. Interestingly, Okada nowhere to be seen. Perhaps prefers those set pieces where he's able to swing in a ball to a teammate rather than taking the direct shot. Mitchell attempting to organise that wall. So many players in there. The man goes back onto the line. It matters not. The ball flying over the crossbar. Stojewski was the man taking that free kick. It looked like it was going to be James. This time we're going to see a substitution for the home side. It's extremely warm out there, and it will be Lachlan Scott making his way off. As mentioned, only new to this club. This time. Previous opportunities, previous appearances. But in terms of this season, such a late addition. Did manage some solid minutes in that pre-season clash. But of course, the regular season, the real deal, a completely different kettle of fish. Manly United on the attack now. The ball in is half decent. Seems to strike some hands. Referee says not the type of hands that are going to award a penalty. Just to confirm, it was Nikolovsky coming on to replace Scott. Passfield, the delivery is absolutely perfect. Has placed that on a dime. Callahan does lose that. Well closed down by McDonald. Not a lot in that challenge. You could hear the sound. I believe it was more ball and head rather than the clash of two bodies. Balderson, who's dished out his fair share of treatment, winning the free kick for his side. Chalakian under pressure does extremely well. The ball down the line. Cut out by the defender. And Manly have definitely shown more intent here in the second half. Not quite the product necessary just yet. There is a while to go, of course. We mentioned their grueling pre-season, all the sports science tests. Starting November last year, their pre-season. Is it that type of thing that will be worth its weight in gold come moments like this? Having defended so much in the first half. For all the excellent Wollongong play, Manly are only that one goal behind. One good movement, one good motion, and it could be level pegging. Substitution bringing Tedeschi onto the field certainly seems to have riled up Manly. But at the other end, it's James trying to control the ball onto himself. This has brought equal measure of uproar and laughter from the crowd. James clearly looking to make contact with the goalkeeper. Nothing particularly naughty, but just trying to make sure his presence was felt. But to be completely honest, he just bounced right off Dylan Mitchell, who held his ground. I'm not sure how the goalkeepers normally react in capital football, but welcome to the NPL New South Wales. Referee similarly not finding anything wrong with what Dylan Mitchell did whatsoever. James's pride may be a little battered, but his body absolutely fine. He'll be coming back onto the pitch shortly. Can Manly make the most of this extra man? Of course. Defensive shape and line won't have changed at all. Chalakian's teammates begging for the ball. Evidently wasn't happy with the passing options, held onto it. Back to lob. Sam Gallagher now. The long ball in is quite aimless. Easily repelled by the Wolves' defence. Could the break be on now for Wollongong? Stojewski playing it into Akata, who's been a little quieter in the second half. James once again flying through the air. Not sure what this is for. May have been for offside. Let's assume so. I certainly didn't see the contact. If it was to be a foul, if it was for offside, the second man run looked fine. Potentially James coming back from an offside position is all I can think of. To be fair to those referees, the interpassing, the quick play from the Wolves, a delight, but difficult for us all to keep up with. They only get one look at it. They are in the perfect positions. And we move on. Gallagher gets the yell left, decides to go right. Chalakian, once again, looking to go himself when potentially the easy sideways pass was on. And Parkhouse is a man I'm sure the Manly faithful watching along on the stream, watching at home, wherever you are, would love to see more of. It didn't take long for the old commentators cursed Parkhouse slipping over that ball. My apologies, Adam. Manly a little slow to get back in defence. They seem well set now. The ball through. Not a terrible idea, but Lob well positioned. Has certainly looked to play the part as he's come on. This ball can be and is played out to this left-hand side for Manly. Question as to whether it was already out or not. The answer, an emphatic yes. McDonald, absolutely no rush to take this throw. Not wanting to waste a single ball, this Wollongong side. Nikolevsky, not a lot to work with. Some lovely dribbling though, manages to find the feet of a teammate. Stojewski into Akada on his left-hand side. The cute attempted finish. The crowd holding their breath as one, waiting to see if that would dribble into the back of the net. Akada shifting it further onto that left-hand side. Not his favoured foot. Perhaps wondered if he was actually looking to find a teammate there. So softly hit was that shot at goal, but a shot it was. Drifting just wide once more for Wollongong. The players pausing there to look at the referee, which way that was going. Felt like a 50-50. Once again, the referee perfectly positioned to make that call. So we see a further substitution here. It's an incredibly warm day when that sun is out, and out it is. It's confirmed there by the ground announcer, Toshi, who has run himself ragged. Being substituted off, Brendan Griffin coming on. Tossi certainly happy to take his time, saying, Brendan, please run as much as I just did. This is not over yet. First points of the season, absolutely vital. It's Manly United though on the attack early. Some lovely dribbling. Will find its way to Parkhouse. Plays it back to the top of the box. There was contact that put the attacker off balance. It matters not. No cries at all from Manly United now. They are happy with what they've just seen. An absolute belter into the back of the net. All the players immediately ceasing any disagreement they were having with the referee. What an incredible shot on goal. Sam Gallagher with a hammer of a left foot. You hate to roll out the cliches. First game of the season. Have we seen one of the goals of the season? Incredible hit. How is the quality of NPL New South Wales football? Goodness me. And just like that, it is 1-1. As we had alluded to, it only takes one moment of quality, and that had quality stamped all over it. Earlier, you may have seen Balderson making his way off the field. Could not have run any more today, Balderson. Pandurovic, the man to replace him for now. An attacking opportunity for Wolves. James just outmuscled off the ball, really. And it will be. Pandurovic, what has he got for us? The no-look pass, that's a good start. Missio. Into Chalakian, back out to Pandurovic. As he searches for a head in the middle. Manly, all of a sudden, reinvigorated It's what a wonder strike can do. They will feel like they can do anything now. You love to see that play on from the referee. Firm contact, but that's all it is. It's a physical game, football, and Wolves now with an opportunity, playing it back inside, and that's in the back of the net. The lead restored. The celebration full of swagger. Manly United weren't in the lead for very long. It's the Wolves back in front. Incredible poise there from the Wolves, just when you thought the chance might have gone, when they thought they might be looking for the contact as that player went to ground. Every player keeping their head. Well, if we don't have a second half on now, Wollongong had a fire lit underneath them. Chalakian now looking for the shot on goal, immediately blocked. But Manly certainly full of fire. In this second half, at the very least, will we see this link-up play again from the Wolves? More than happy to play it back, which you don't often see when they've broken forward. It's been forward passes all the way. This time a little bit more poise. Makata, nothing wrong with the ball. But Callahan, not quite aware to the opportunity. Will be a Manly United goal kick. How about that poise from Stochevski before? That is an old head on young shoulders. When other players would have snatched at that chance, the Wolves are happy to play it around, wait for that clear-cut moment, and the finish perfectly placed in the corner. It's Manly United looking to belt their way into this game. Wollongong Wolves trying to show some poise, some calmness, and really breaking in numbers. Will they do so again here? An excellent first touch. James needs to make this run into the space. He does. The ball's not bad. James's touch isn't fantastic, though. Is left to look for a back heel. And while Mitchell loses his hat, safely claims the ball. May not have realised that he's actually lost his hat here. Parkhouse back out on this left-hand side. Chalakian and Parkhouse linking up beautifully. How's the ball, though? Does find a teammate. Probably not his intended one, though. Teneski plays it back. The ball across. Fair share of balls delivered into the area for Manly. Not enough of them finding a player. Play back underway here after that substitution. Crowd not happy with some of these decisions, but once again, credit to the referees. They've tried to let this game play. A little bit of a shove there. Actually pushes the Manly United player over the fence. Slightly exaggerated. I think that was more momentum than anything else. Going forward, we'll get a talking to nonetheless. Cap firmly back on head now, Dylan Mitchell. Really does need it on a day like today. Manly are behind in this game now, 1-2. Chalakian once again more than happy to take his time on the ball. How's your pass this time? It is a little bit too heavy. Passfield does excellently to shepherd that ball out of play. Not something you often see from a goalkeeper. That's just what the doctor ordered there. Pandurovic more than happy to get it quickly back into play. Manly know this contest isn't over, not by a long shot. It was, of course, that long shot that has them on the board in this game. An absolutely stunning belter of a finish. Do we have one at the other end? No. Looked like it was going to be. Decides to play it wide instead. Thomas James on the ball, looks to take his player on. Not getting anywhere at all. Lewis Michio all over Thomas James there. It's been a rough day at the office for a few of these Manly United defenders, particularly those fullbacks. They are sticking to their task. Familiar sound bites of the Manly United players. Areas, second ball. Obviously key themes they've been working on at training and in the pre-season. So far in the balance of play, it's Wollongong who've wanted this one more. Won themselves more tackles, kept possession more effectively. Once again, Missio winning the header. Look at this run. Stamovsky, the substitute, bursting down that line, swinging that ball in, could not find a player. Fresh legs could be absolutely vital as this game reaches its closing stages. Once again, pressure from the front from Wollongong, forcing that long ball. Not controlled initially by Stojevski. And that's the chant. Let's not get sloppy. Easy to say when you're on the touchline, of course, when you've been out there running around in this hot Australian sun for so long. Sometimes there's not much you can do. How high are the standards at the beginning of the season? Outrad more than happy to run it down the line. The pass once again heavy, bringing applauses from the Wollongong fans as they seek themselves a third goal in this game. Not being able to get themselves that 2-goal buffer that they would be craving. James saying, that's our ball. He wants the corner. He's going to get more than that. He's going to draw the foul. Admittedly in a very similar position, but the moral victory gained by Thomas James. Dylan Mitchell's certainly all over the situation. I think his defenders know it's not a corner. It is in fact a free kick. Get yourselves in position. Wollongong not committing many numbers forward at all. You wonder if they're going to play it in short to James. 3, 4, 5 players in and around the area. The delivery cannot find any of them. The air swing comes out there from Griffin. Is that an opportunity for Manly to counter? Chalakian with an absolutely fearsome challenge, drawing that reaction. Regardless of how bad the challenge is, you cannot be reacting like that. Do apologise for any language you are picking up. It is heated here on the sidelines. Neither manager particularly upset. The challenge is definitely a yellow card, 100%. But the reaction, not necessary at all. He does now apologise. James not making himself a fan favourite here on the South Coast. Has been in almost all of these flash points. Shalakin saying, "You hit me." Potentially trying to justify his response. He may have indeed escaped a yellow card himself. Everything nice and calm now. It's what we love about football. It is a contact sport. You want to see players going for the ball. Once again, all credit to the referee who has managed to subdue any potential big clashes, big moments like that. The type of kind you don't wish to see. Enabled us to have a thrilling game here at Albert Butler this afternoon. Wollongong, are they happy to hold it in the corner? Surely not. Surely with players in the middle. No player back down the line. And of course, as we often see here, it will be a goal kick for the opposition. Say as well that Luke, it's in fact, of course, not a goal kick, it's a throw in, more on the far touchline than the goalkeeper's line, my apologies. But you can see Luke Wilkshire there, not happy with that. Knows that this game is not done. And that ball down the line is exactly what the doctor ordered. Parkhouse, the Manly bench cheering for the handball. The defender, not enough time to react. You can understand the passion in their pleas. The defender could not have been closer. There was no arm-to-ball motion. Incidental contact at best. But as we get towards the end of this game, it really is every call, every ball being fought for by not just the players, the fans, the managers. A lovely little run here. The touch last time from Griffin was a mild embarrassment. That time it is perfect. Goes past his man like he wasn't even there. Manager Wilkshire has not sat down much at all. He has been up on this near side, looking for advice, looking for feedback. He is living every moment, as you would expect a former player to do. As there starts to be a bit of a sense of inevitability. I'll try that one again a bit later. With both sets of players more and more for Wollongong taking the deep breaths, looking like there's not long to go, that the victory could almost be theirs, and the Manly United players, every time the ball won't fall for them, hands on hips, wondering what might have been. A rare long ball from the Wolves means Manly may get at least one more opportunity. They have been hard to find. To their credit, they've mostly been of a very good quality. Call of man on is accurate. I don't think in pre-season that lob to Parkhouse is exactly the plan. Would hope for a little bit more fluidity, a bit more link up in their passing. Parkhouse has really only had scraps to work with. Predominantly been on that left-hand side, but he's moved out to the right and now back to the left. At no point has he received any joy. Dylan Mitchell, unfortunately for him, scuffing that clearance right up in the air. Players wrestling for the ball. Job done as far as the Wolves concerned. Okada winning the throw for his team. May not have been as involved in this second half, but he has stamped his class on this match. The shot from distance coming in from Thomas James. He is definitely going to be a player to watch this season. If not scoring goals, he's going to be involved in something. Mark my words. Manly United, it is now time for Route 1 football. As we have 2 minutes of stoppage time confirmed. These really are the last thralls of this encounter. This first round match between Wollongong Wolves and Manly United. Thomas James looking for the foul there, looking for the contact. But Michio doing perfectly. Winning the challenge, winning the throw, that's what you want. Unfortunately for him, his teammate in Adam Parkhouse can't do the same. Luke Wilkshire with a cheeky laugh. He had his player there, Taylor McDonald, to throw the ball to. Decides to give it to the ref instead. These, of course, are the benefits of the closing moments of a game in which you are leading 2-1. Manly United, of course, with such a successful 2017 season, taking so many of us by surprise. Not backing it up in 2018, and it's not looking like their 2019 campaign is going to get off to the start they wanted. They will be at home next week. There's your yellow card for time wasting. Not that Taylor McDonald will mind one little bit as he looks to go long into the box. Chested down well. Demoski, the substitute. But to be quite honest, at this stage of the game, for the Wolves, a corner is as valuable rather as a goal. Those seconds ticking down. The referee right on top of things, calling the defenders back because this corner was only ever going to be taken short. James is dumped on the turf. Does not win the foul, but wins the throw. Surely this result is sealed now for the Wolves. Yet another corner. There cannot be long remaining. All eyes eagerly looking at the referee. Not one of these fans has left this game. So passionate about their football here on the South Coast, and with every good reason to. It was a game, in fairness, that they dominated almost from start to finish. Credit to that Manly United wonder strike, which we will be seeing time and time again. But it is Luke Wilkshire's Wollongong Wolves getting a winning start in this game, 2-1.